right, good morning, folks. Today is May 17th, 2024. This is Coffee with Community Services, Alta California Regional Center's weekly service provider meeting. Let's see, we currently have 56 folks on. We will go into our introductions and then we'll do our agenda. I'll do our agenda and then we'll do our introductions. So we have our sign of the week and Deaf Culture 101 from Michael. We are going to talk about the DSP stipend, give an update on that, and also our transportation vendor forum. And then we're going to throw it over to Lisa from Behavior Agent. She's got probably about 10 minutes or so. We're going to do a presentation talking about Behavior Agent a little bit. And then we are going to provide a further update on the May revision. The state took a little while to get the detailed information out about the May revision, but we have it now. So we will share that. Our executive director sent out a message as well, kind of updating folks on where we're at with the May revise. Iqbal also met with us this morning to go over it. We're going to talk about the May Day rally. I saw that Kate just sent me something from Southside, and she sent it to Jay and everyone else, some signs. And so maybe with some of you folks that are going to be very active next week for the rally, we might talk about that a little bit too. We have upcoming meeting with DDS next week, and so I'm going to talk about some of the proposed agenda items to make sure that I'm asking all the questions that you as service providers want answered from DDS. We're going to talk about the sick leave update that you can make to your negotiated rates. That's on DDS as well, or excuse me, on our website. We are going to talk about the RFP that just went out a minute or two ago, again, from Jordan's unit as well. We have, and then we have an update about the statewide FMS, and then I think HCBS if we've got time as well. So a lot going on, and then we'll throw the YMCA in there probably right after Behavior Agent. We'll leave a little update on the YMCA partnership as well. So for introductions here today from our community services staff, good morning. I see Dan and Melinda, good morning. And I see our cultural diversity specialist, Shamir, is on. Good morning, Shamir, too. And also in community services, I see Christine and Tom. Good morning, guys. I see our employment specialist, Carly, is on, and Shauna as well, and Jessica and Scott from community services, our QA and compliance manager. I see Ethan and Beverly and our lead community services specialist, Jason, is on. And I see also from community services, Jolana is here. Our director of intake and clinical services, Camelia, is here. And I see Michael Mercado, our deaf and hard of hearing specialist, that is here as well. And so good morning to Michael as well. And Christy Schaefer, you will hear a little bit from her later about the YMCA grant that we did. Let's see, I see Janice on. I see our manager, Helen, is on here as well. Alicia is on from client services. I see Cindy Lay. I see Christy Awasa this morning and Courtney as well from community services. I see Sarah from client services. Good morning. And our manager, Michelle Duchesne, is on. She's going to be talking about a few things. Good morning from client services. I see BJ Thompson, residential manager, on. Good morning. And our director of client services, Michelle Johnson, of course. Good morning, Michelle. We'll see if you have any updates as well as we get down in our agenda as well. And I see my assistant Zach is on. Good morning, Zach. And Adriana, good morning, Adriana, too. Good to see Jordan here, our manager. And let's see, we've got Kylie on. Good morning, Kylie, too. And Belinda is on. Good morning, Belinda. And Rihanna is on. Good morning, Rihanna, from our QA team. And our other director of client services, Jennifer Bloom, is on this morning. Good morning, Jennifer. And Johnny, our associate client services director, and then Elijah. And Elijah, we've got YMCA here. And so after we do a little discussion about Behavior Agent around 11:15 or so, we're gonna just do a little quick update if we can about the YMCA vendorization that we just did. And then Christy Schaefer's got some pictures of the YMCA social rec that we will go over, because we have Scott Cosley here from the YMCA who's joined us today. And so this will give a good opportunity for folks to hear about everything that's going on. So that's going to be our agenda. That's our very large group of folks from Alta that are on. We've got 75 total. So we're going to throw it over to Michael now, who I am going to be spotlighting for everyone so you can see his signs while he does them. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. All righty. Hello, everyone. So today, the sign of the week that we will be doing is, and there's two words here. The first word is happy, and the second word is excited. So with the word happy, you're going to start like this, and then just go ahead and sign with me. So put your hands up and up along your chest like this, and you'll be signing. This is the sign for happy. It's just when you feel happy, it's also like a sign for inspired. You have that just energy that you feel. And then the next sign is excited. It's a little bit challenging, but it's the same position as the previous sign. So you start out with your hands shaped like this up on your chest. It's kind of like a bicycle, like where how the pedals move forward in a circular motion. That's exactly, and you, along with the facial expressions, that's the sign for excited. So let's sign this together. Happy, and then excited. Okay, so you guys now know happy, the sign for happy, and excited. So happy Friday. This is the sign for Friday. Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. So today I just want to discuss and talk about deaf culture 101. And this is in regards to time. I know every culture has their own time establishment and how they do things. Some cultures are punctual, some are late. Every culture varies in that. The deaf community actually has their own thing in accordance to time. So we have something that's called DST, which is Deaf Standard Time. So we call that DST. So as far as DST, it's its own just unique thing according to deaf culture and how the deaf view time, according to just, the hearing culture. So there's three different things here, and there's an extended goodbye. That's the first thing that deaf people tend to do. When there's a deaf event, there's socialization, meeting and greeting with other deaf, and all talking amongst each other. It just tends to just, when we say goodbye, we tend to just want to share things and just go on and just have an extended goodbye. And the reason behind why we just keep going and going and going is just because it's just having a deaf event is really a sacred thing. We don't have deaf social time all the time. So we kind of have this time and have the extended goodbyes and such because before we go off onto the hearing world, we just want to make the most out of it. So there are deaf events called Deaf Night Out, and it's a once a month get together and meet at a bar, and we'll have social time. And usually the deaf people are the last to leave in the bars and have to ask to be leaved upon closing time. Usually what happens is we're scooted out upon closing, and then we're standing out next to the building and we're still carrying on. And the next thing is arriving early. Typically, deaf will arrive early at special events or things, theater events. Deaf people typically will arrive early. And the reason being is they want to get the best seat in the house. So visually, they have the best seat. So where they can see, they want to get the best spot possible. And also being late. Typically, deaf people will, talk about a meeting time and will often arrive late. And when we do arrive late, we will typically share or explain what happened, why we were late, and elaborate. And it's way more accepting and understanding. But compared to the hearing culture, it's be punctual, be on time, it's not polite. So I just remember before a birthday party that I had, I went to a Korean barbecue place. I made reservations for 7:00. I knew that my deaf friends would arrive late, but this restaurant was all about being punctual and being on time at 7:00. And I thought, okay, I had actually told my friends to come and meet me at 5:30, and most of them arrived at 6:45. So it's just, I had to strategize as far as timing goes within, this is what happens within the deaf culture. So with DST, Deaf Standard Time, it's just recognizing deaf deaf, we have our experiences and our culture, and we have our timing is just viewed differently in how we do things. And it really just, we are influenced by that and what we do. We're not focusing on having to be on time constantly. That's just not a cultural thing. So sometimes you might be at a restaurant or at a bar and you see a group of deaf people and they're still there and they're still chatting and they're still carrying on, and that's known as DST. So I will post the sign of the week on YouTube. So for you guys to use that, and thank you so much and have a good week.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Michael. We always appreciate this information at our Coffee with Community Services. And again, please don't hesitate to take advantage of this resource of the staff at the Regional Center that can help you expand opportunities to provide services to, and we need to update the number, but last we knew we had about 1,500 individuals with lower hearing levels at our Regional Center. And so again, just want to make sure we encourage each of you to expand your service opportunities for our deaf and hard of hearing population, please. Awesome. Thank you very much, Michael. I'm going to throw it over to Michelle Duchesne. Oh, thank you. I'm going to throw it over to Michelle Duchesne, please, so you can share with us a little about the DSP stipend.
Yeah, thank you, John. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see the screen there? Everybody, yes? Okay.
Looks perfect.
So perfect. So we weren't able to share numbers last week, but I wanted to share our current numbers. So we have 62,888 total for the state of registered DSPs that have done the training. And we are currently at 11,630 total for Alta Regional. So that was an 8.4% growth from the last previous weeks. I also wanted to just let you know, I spoke with accounting this morning, and they will be issuing a payment out of a little over $792,000 before the end of May for the next set of payments for those DSP stipends. And I also just always want to share with you, we have 45 days or 7 Sundays left to continue to push and support our staff in taking advantage of this program.
Thank you very much. Yes, again, we at our provider advisory committee meeting last week talked about new providers that are signing up right now and getting their staff trained and getting money in the pockets of their DSPs. So please, if you have not taken advantage of this yet as a service provider for your staff, please take an opportunity. We do not know that this will be an extended opportunity beyond the deadline that Michelle just gave. And I think we feel pretty confident that if you get your folks, in and trained before the end of the deadline here, that you'll be able to get your payment, after the fact as well. So any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to dspstipend@altaregional.org. So dspstipend@altaregional.org. All right, thank you very much. And again, I can't say enough about what you guys have done. And we have just a short period of time to get even more folks trained. I am going to now ask Michelle to share about our upcoming transportation vendor forum.
Yeah, thank you, John. So let me share my screen. Can you see our website? Is that okay? So those of you that don't know, so Transportation Department has now transitioned over to our Adult Services Department, which my team will be supporting and managing. And we have an upcoming vendor forum for you guys scheduled for Wednesday, May 29th. So this is on our website. And here is the flyer. It's at 10 a.m. It will be virtual. So if you have any concerns, you can't get in, you can please always, we have the contact there for Damien or Jaslyn. And we hope to see you there. I'll be working with R&D today to finalize our agenda. If you guys have any questions or any other thoughts that you would like to cover, I'll put my email in the chat, and then please be sure to provide that to me.
Cool. Any questions about that? No? All right. Well, thank you very much. And again, we think that with transportation, with adult services, which, Michelle oversees both adult services and the residential services, which is primarily where the interaction with transportation is. I think this will work out very well for us as we continue to expand transportation opportunities for our clients and look at more innovative ways to also figure out how to meet our transportation needs. I'm going to throw it over to Lisa now. So Lisa, I believe I made you a co-host so you can share your screen.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Kelleher. I'm the founder of Behavior Agent, which is a behavioral healthcare technology. And we consider the whole person in our product because we also include a medical module. But let me start with showing you first our programs page, where if you were to sign in as someone who's maybe an owner of a business or a program administrator, you can easily check in to see how the progress is going for people's behaviors that you would like to reduce, how the progress is going for the skills that you would like to have someone increase. And we can also check in on if staff have run the amount of trials that we're hoping that the employer or client is getting in a week. And so you get these immediate click-throughs. And then we can also see here that we are looking at event tracking, which is something that we aren't necessarily trying to teach a skill around or reduce behavior around, but we just simply want to track and see maybe if the technology the person's using is helping in the reduction of calling 911. So that gives you a quick overview of what you would see as an owner. And then I can give you an example of what it's like to be the staff. So if you look here, this is basically where the staff live, and those behaviors that we just looked at, they simply go in and they click that, a hygiene schedule that was agreed to was not followed as far as the timing. So that works with the other housemate. So they just simply do that, and now you have the behavior check in. The notes are quite simple. You go in, just say where the location was that the incident happened in. You click through staff, what triggered it, and then what de-escalated it, and save it. And then the whole note is done as far as that behavior incident. And that's all front loaded by someone who wants to phrase in any person-centered language they would like to around triggers and consequences. And then skills, we have a similar sort of thing. And then we have just click through and this turns green. And then we have also the MAR, and we talked about the whole person, and we peppered out a whole bunch of different sort of reminders and alerts throughout the system, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But this one is particularly important because I've lost clients that I'm also a behavior analyst to choking events. So I want someone before they pass meds to always click through on that. That's optional. Everything really in our system is optional. And you can see that we have our window here, and we just literally click through on a medication. We get our timestamp and our signature of staff. You see the person-centered language in here about we offer medication, the client accepts it. We provide consent as far as the 7 rights. And if something happened unusual, I would just simply put in the reasons and the notes there. Or if it's a PRN, the different colorization can help, obviously, for organizing the staff in their assistance with the MedPass. Then you would also be able to put in a reason and result note. And we have an alert around that when that 30 minutes is up, making sure that staff go back and put that result note in. So that is our MAR, and basically this is where the staff lives. So it's really easy to click through and get your data. And then I was on the phone with someone who's doing the tech project tech pilot project, and they said, oh, then they're using Behavior Agent in it, and they said they really like to see the graphs, knowing how someone's moving through their time and the services that we're providing to them. Are they beneficial? And then you have these little indicators here like phase lines where we figure out, well, what happened? Because I'm seeing a downturn in the frequency count. What happened? Well, a couple months ago, I put in that the person was asking to use Xanax at 4 p.m. and that was actually beneficial to the employer. So this was really great, but I don't have to remember that. I can just put it in the day it happened, and then later on when I go to run a report, it automatically pops it in, and so it's like having a secretary or a cyber assistant. And then we have different report types as well. In here, we have the quarterly, the custom report, the weekly report. We have a behavior support plan that can be printed out, and I'm going to show you that live. So you can always have a Word document and a binder, but we really like the distilled behavior plan in Behavior Agent because it is live. And I'll show you that in a second. But just before I leave this page, there's also a health report. So for any time range, you can put in, you'll be uncovering throughout in the system about doctor's appointments, about recent temperature and oxygen, and whatever is important to your health team will come through in that report. But back to that live behavior support plan, within a couple clicks, the staff are in on the tablet or the phone, and they can see immediately what's going on as far as someone's preferences. So let's say someone is really getting off track and they've decided to kind of run out of their apartment, and I want to figure out how to get them out of the parking lot. And so I might start talking about the Raiders and how the Raiders seats are now going in the Ballers ball field, and just something to really get someone distracted and off track. But I had that right there in front of me instead of trying to go to a binder that might be even locked up and flip through and try to figure this out because I'm panicking. My favorite person is standing in the middle of a parking lot. And so we also have all the person-centered considerations in here, someone's strengths. And so that bonds new staff as well as to ask the right questions and have the right kind of conversations with someone. The more trust that's built in the services, the smoother they will go. And then we obviously go all the way through to person-centered planning. So that's right there at the staff's fingertips. And so that's our distilled behavior plan that's live and can be changed in a second. So as soon as someone knows something, they can pop that in there and really keep this up in real time. And then let me show you this. Sorry, I'm almost done here. Sorry, this isn't moving. Oh, Zoom. Okay, here we go. So then right here, we have some things that I was telling you about, almost like having a secretary. So the alerts available, these can go to your I think email, and then you can turn them off or on, pass them over to a team member because you're going to Tahiti for 2 months, and you can get certain alerts that are really important, especially like around maybe medical interventions, like that person is not passed in a way that is healthy for them, or your refill of your medications expiring soon. So you can opt in on that. Then we have other reminders like those diet instructions that I was showing you. If there's unusual MAR activity, that triggers me to maybe look deeper into the MAR, and then schedule events as well, and PRN window closing and getting the result node in there so you don't have a med error. And you can see that there's other great pivotal things that happen in here for knowing that there's no behaviors on shift, because one of the main things that we want to do is celebrate progress. A lot of us work with adults who have the choice to engage with our service opportunities or not. And so we really want to always capture if someone's doing something with a verbal prompt 50% of the time, we still want to celebrate that because it's 50% of the time. And I'm there to help with the verbal. And the behaviors on shift, no behaviors on shift is an easy way to celebrate as well. So one last thing I did skip over by accident, I'm mindful of the time, is we have the scheduler here. And so this tells the people who are assigned to certain activities that they can print it ahead of time or get instructions and bring that to, say, the doctor's appointment, or if it's for the dental cleaning, what the location is, and they can print that out if they like, or it's right in their phone or tablet that's going with them. These pending results, this has already happened, but there's no notes or anything attached to it. So we always want a little bit of something from how did the bowling league go? How did physical therapy go? And then we have completed activities too. So we have maybe someone went to see their public defender, and there's a document attached here, and that will open up for them. So there's like the public defender's waiver. So you can see that pops up there. Or a little bit of notes. So the scheduler is very helpful too for making sure that CPAPs are cleaned and so forth. So I think that's, I just want to give you our contact page here. And so my name again is Dr. Lisa Kelleher. I'm the founder, and I created this out of a real need. I've been out in the field for 35 years, and paper and pencil aren't necessary anymore. So please contact us if you want to know more and a deeper dive into the demonstration.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to open up for some questions for Lisa as well. And I want to ask a couple things for some folks. One of the reasons, talking about bringing Lisa here and behavior agent here too, is as you listen to Lisa talk, you can tell that she really aligns kind of where we are at as a regional center in 2024 with our ideas about independent living for people and supported living and person-centered planning for people. Which that's always a question and concern as it relates to behavioral supports and things like supported living services. And so that's one thing I appreciate the way in which you view and talk about these things, Lisa, because that's always a question, again, that we talk about with supported living services, is how to best implement those behavior supports and still really recognize what we're trying to do to support the independence. And so I appreciate that. I know we had some service providers before that have indicated that they've utilized behavior agent. I know Jay is on here, and I guess I will ask Jay if, because I like to pick on him sometimes in questions in this meeting, but were you involved with the switch over to behavior agent as well, Jay? Like, and would you be able to just maybe explain why you guys felt like you wanted to switch over to something like that? Because I feel like Carol and I talked about behavior agent before as well, maybe once. And I'm assuming anyone in the SLS unit, because I know Summit also uses them. But can you maybe give us a little idea why you guys kind of wanted to switch to doing something like that and utilizing that?
I think for us, we had looked at things like TheraP and a couple of other different setups for helping us track. And we were really looking at something that would be staff friendly versus administrator friendly. And while this is administrator friendly and it makes it really easy for somebody to do a monthly report, like Lisa was showing, I can simply literally just run a monthly 30-day report. It's going to give me what I can send over to the regional center with all the updated information on it. But getting staff to document is probably one of the hardest things group homes anywhere. But when you give somebody a smartphone and buttons to push, they're very kind of happy to do that. The staff are happy to do that, and it gets them very quickly to be able to put in the information and then really be focused on the person, not focus on the document. So they're not spending a ton of time going, oh, I got to write this out, I got to fill this out. There is some time, so I'm not going to say like you don't have to preload, you have to preload. And the smarter you are with preloading, the easier the rest of your life is, because then everything's preloaded and the staff are just going, okay, occasionally maybe I have to add a different note because it wasn't in the living room. It was in the neighbor's house, right? So now I got to add neighbor's house. But now neighbor's house will forever be in that library. So if something happens at the neighbor's house again, it's in the library. So I like that it was smart. I like that Lisa said was all about making it person-centered. And so we do that with a lot of our person-centered goals. So it could, if you're working on, getting out in the community or doing some exercise or being a part of a deaf social, I can actually track that. It's not just a regional center that's helping, it's families. So our families have access to it. And so the families that sometimes have concerns about like, did my kid poop last night because he has issues? I know that's something that may seem silly to some people, but it's very important to that person in that circle of support. They can go in and they can see for themselves what's happening live, and it's in real time. So they can go, if I'm worried about that, I know that they went today, and I don't have to pull the staff away to ask them about. I can see it live right there that it happened. So I think it's not just only personal centered for the individual that's receiving services, but also for their circle of support.
Nice summary.
Excellent. And then I wanted to open it up for folks that might have questions for Lisa about behavior agent. I think she's got her contact information will be in our chat, so you can connect with her, but just see if folks have questions. A demonstration of the comprehensiveness of your presentation. So with that, we've got Lisa's information, and from time to time, Rhonda and I had certainly met with Lisa previously as part of the assistive technology pilot that we are doing here, and as was kind of alluded to, as we are looking at the increase of utilizing remote supports and the possible decrease of in-person supports for individuals that are using more assistive technology, smart home devices, etc., being able to have very good graphic representations of what the supports are looking like and everything is going to be very helpful as we talk about expanding some of these opportunities statewide, scaling them, figuring out the costs, and figuring out really some good data to talk about the benefits of utilizing more assistive technology to promote more independent living for people with developmental disabilities. So right on, Lisa. I'm glad that you're going to be able to kind of partner with us on the assistive technology pilot as well. And then definitely want to encourage folks that may have an interest in reaching out to Behavior Agent. As she was going over her presentation, I was kind of looking over at Camellia because I think about all the challenges that we've had in ensuring that we've got the information from the DSPs that are actually interacting. When we see those SIRs that come in and where we see the information and we really want to know what occurred. And so being able to have the DSPs have the opportunity to have an easy way to get the data entered into the system, and then be able to have to speak a language that our regional center behaviorists would definitely understand. Like it's it's a big deal. So anyways, I want to incorporate as much of the technology into what we're doing as well for the future to make it easier. So appreciate the presentation, Lisa. And you're welcome to stick around if you'd like. We're going to be talking about a few other things here,
Yeah,
but
very
thank you so
interesting.
much.
Thank you so much, John, and everybody.
Right on. Take care. All right. I'm going to now, let's see if we can throw it over to the YMCA a little bit. And Elijah, we had a vendorization that was done, I believe, recently for YMCA of like Superior YMCA, right? And then we also had the grant as well. So I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about the YMCA vendorization, and then Christy, you've got some pictures. I made you a co-host, so you can share a little bit about the modifications that have gone on as well for YMCA.
Hello, everybody. So yes, YMCA, we just finished their vendorization the beginning of this month. They have 4 locations. We have Rolling Wood, which is located in Fair Oaks. We have the yellow offices. So we have Woodland. And they have available during the summer months for swim lessons and lap swimming. They have a location in Central Sacramento, and then they have another location in Grass Valley. So depending on the location, there are different amenities that clients can utilize. They do have personal training. They have exercise classes. There is a membership packet. They access all multiple locations, and then there are swim lessons available as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I believe this was a combined kind of statewide effort to ensure that we get social rec vendorizations with both the YMCA, and then we did one for the Boys and Girls Club, I think statewide as well, through the expansion of social recreation. So there was some grant funding, Christy, that went out as well. Can I throw it over to you to kind of share a little bit about that?
Yes, so YMCA was one of the recipients of the grant from DDS for expanding for social recreation. And besides the YMCA, we also have a few others that are either vendored or very close to being vendored. And that would include able riders. So there's some kids that are going to be able to do some horseback riding, acing autism, which is tennis. And we also have We Embrace, which has a multitude of different kinds of activities, sports, dances, yoga classes. And then we have Haipu and I think, and then YMCA. So I'm going to share some pictures.
You had some Hmong Youth Parents United.
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
And they have
we love our acronyms around here.
Yes. Yes. And they have an after school program. So, okay, let me share my screen. So YMCA had $147,000 in their grant, and they provided financial assistance, and they exceeded on every one of their goals. And one of them had to do with they were also able to do setting modifications for accessibility for the pool. And so right here you can see they have a new push button to be able to open up the door. And normally I have a little arrow to be able to go to the next one. And I'm not sure why.
Click on the picture and press the arrow on your keyboard.
Oh, right there.
Or that one. There you go.
Okay. All right. And so they were able to have new doors put in that with the button to be pushed to come out, and they have this new ramp. Here's the ramp. And
Nice.
another push button out here. So yeah.
Excellent. And again, that's a very good example of the type of things that, we can fund to increase access for, our population. And bringing back the opportunity to fund social recreation has created some challenges for our regional center on how to best implement it and ensure that we can get everyone set up. We know that there's certainly a lot of utilization that's going on. And again, for YMCA, they've served our population always. They've always served people that have developmental disabilities. This is going to allow those individuals that they serve to have even greater expanded opportunities at the YMCA sites. And so we're very excited about that. Scott, welcome. This is our weekly vendor meeting that we do here for Alta California Regional Center. It's kind of high end. We talk a lot about high level discussions about things because it's mostly service providers and some of our staff, but very happy to have YMCA on as a partner. And I know we've got a lot of folks from our service coordination here too that I'm hoping are thinking about ways in which they can incorporate the YMCA into their planning team discussions with families about the future opportunities for social recreation.
And we're planning on putting something together for the regional people so that they have something they can hand to people and they don't have to remember everything that we do, because you'll serve enough people, you're not going to remember everything that I have to offer. So I'm going to make it easier for any of the people who are giving our information out to others. So if you have stuff in particular you want to make sure I address, let me know. Let us know. We're really open to the feedback on that. And I really love giving our marketing people more work to do and making new collateral. She's sitting right over there.
Tell your marketing person that we would love to be heavily involved in whatever correspondence you send out to our families about opportunities with the YMCA that may be funded by the regional center. We're very good. I see our associate client services directors. I see Jen Bloom on there. We would definitely love to be involved in whatever flyer you guys want to put out to our community. Send it over to Elijah, and then Elijah can make sure that we get the information kind of aligned with the vendorization and the funding perfectly. And then we can also make sure that we help distribute it to our service coordinators so that they've got it available to them. So that's awesome, Scott. Welcome.
Cool. I will make sure you get that information. And yeah, anybody who wants to be on any kind of email list that get all of our information, I will no problem putting them on that list so they get a bunch of emails and get all the information. So yeah, we will definitely work on getting that to you. Elijah, did I say your name right? I'm sorry.
Elijah.
It's Elijah.
Elijah, sorry. I have a friend who's Elijah. I will get that information over to you so that you have a better idea of what it is we're doing. I don't know what conversations you had with Nancy, but yeah, we'll get that to you and we'll get things figured out. And we're really looking forward to working with you all officially now.
Excellent. Great. Very good. Okay, let's see. Then I'm going to run over to the May revision of the California budget. This is not going to be a downer part of our discussion here today. We're just going to talk about what's going on and where we're at and keep it moving. I'm going to drop in the chat here real quickly. The detail came out of the May revision of the budget. And so I dropped that in the chat right there. And there was hearings this week as well related to the May revision too, which I'm not going to get into some of the specifics, but I am going to get into just sharing a little bit about the May revision itself of the budget. So just to remember where we are at, and I don't have it right in front of me within the California budget process, but the governor announced his budget in the month of January. We had the initial budget that came out. We have the May revision now, and we had our hearings, and now we have more hearings. And this is kind of where we sit as of May of 2024. And then there will be a final version of the budget that comes out this summer that gets approved. So right now, a couple things that I would highlight that are within the budget is one, there was a governor's proposal in the month of January to, in essence, put the rate study implementation back to the timeline that there was previously, rather than moving it forward to full implementation as of July 1st. Right now, the law still says July 1st, and we are awaiting what the final budget will say as far as the rate study being implemented, but there was not anything put in the May revision that indicated that the rate study was that the rate study delay was going to be impacted at all. So with that, I think that there is a very, I think that there's a very good opportunity at the rally next week for folks to speak their mind loudly and clearly about the importance of maintaining service provider rates. The things that are included in here is, let's see here. Let me see if I've got the specific items for, well, this is the entire document. I'll just start at the top here. This is the detail document that's been given, and this is contained on the website there that I was sharing with folks last week. It gives an overall summary of the different areas, and then it talks about some of the different additional revenue reductions that they're looking at doing. Some of them include a health and safety waiver assistance, a reduction of ongoing funding to support consumers and family assistance in applying for health and safety waivers. This was a newer policy piece that went in recently to expand the utilization of health and safety waivers, and specifically looking at it for individuals that may not speak English as well and are looking at services in their native languages to be able to support reaching their IPP goals. And with this too, we also know that with the rate study implementation, a number of the health and safety waiver requests that we had been making, and again, a health and safety waiver, just explain real quickly, is a waiver of some portion of Title 17 of the California Code of Regulations. For example, in the past, we have waivers that allows us to get past the rate freeze and put a rate higher than what the median rates are. And that's why we do health and safety waivers for those reasons. Additionally, there was a cut that they are proposing for ongoing resources related to procuring emergency preparedness supplies and informational materials for individuals. There was a significant amount of those materials that went out after COVID, as the emergency coordinator positions were developed. And so I think ongoing, we will take a look at what that will mean as far as getting emergency information like and items too, like the backpacks and other things that are being distributed by the emergency coordinators. Tribal engagement for early start services, a reduction of ongoing resources to align funding for the outreach initiative with the current 23-24 levels. So again, some of this is them recalculating what the need is for certain things, and then determining whether or not they want to do a little reduction in the funding or not. And then finally, the DSP internship program, revert one-time resources appropriated for the direct service professional internship program. How these things finally get operationalized does not get figured out usually until the fall, specifically because we need to have the budget get passed. We find out whether or not these things get included in the budget or not. And then once they get included in the budget, then if we don't have regulations yet that outline it, what's going to happen, then the department will send out some guidance to us and let us know what we're supposed to do. True story, we're still waiting from the guidance from last year's budget, but that being said, I'm sure it'll be along anytime now. There was a whole lot of things that were in there, but meanwhile, the department has been operationalizing a lot of the activities through just issuing directives to the regional centers. So that's a little bit about the May revision, and I did drop the information in the chat there so that you can be aware of it. Certainly, attending any of the upcoming hearings, attending the upcoming rally are good ways to continue to get updated on it. I think, our upcoming provider advisory committee meeting next month, there certainly will be further discussions more about it. One thing I will note is that the Association of Regional Center Agencies did put out their guidance, or excuse me, their response to the May revision. And some of the things that they described in the proposal is with the new cuts that are being proposed, the new cuts, and I'll just quote it, while each of these is comparatively small, it's well worth noting their disproportionate impact on underserved and diverse communities. Tribal engagement for Early Start is a targeted program intended to better connect tribal communities to these critical services. Health and safety waiver assistance was originally structured to prioritize underserved communities. The DSP internship was meant to better connect diverse labor forces to the DSP career track, diversifying the service provider labor pool. And emergency preparedness resources are of particular benefit to those individuals and families with the least access to other options to support those needs. So again, just want to make sure that folks are aware of what the regional centers in totality's position is as it relates to some of these cuts, that though they may not seem like they are huge multi-million dollar cuts in some of the cases, like I say, except for the DSP internship, it really does impact things. I believe that the ARCA letter is something that can be shared for public consumption. And so I will get that sent for folks too, if they want to take a look at ARCA's position that they put out on the May revision. Any questions about the May revision? Again, take some time to read into it yourself, but for any of you, especially if you're regional center staff, things don't get finalized until the summertime. We're still waiting to kind of figure out what is going to happen. And so with that, we do have, and I don't know if Kate has joined us, Kate Halecki has joined us at all today, but I know that there was an email that she sent out a little bit earlier. I I don't like to I don't like to put my email on during this meeting because it gets crazy. If anyone has the email that Kate sent out recently that has the flyers that she just sent and is interested in sharing those in their screen and wants to talk about next week other than me, I would love to hear someone talk about Tuesday's rally and what's going on if anyone's available to talk about it.
John, this is Lindsay. I can talk about it. I don't know
Thank
if
you, Lindsay.
I cover everything in Kate's email, but I had a little list of things I wanted to cover. So the first, I will share my screen with oh, I need permission.
Okay, I'm gonna make you share, or I'm gonna have you share your screen, and then let me see if you can get a little bit closer to your microphone if you can.
Oh, okay. Let me just turn it up a little bit. Okay, is that better?
That is perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, so next Tuesday, the 21st is our May Day rally at the Capitol. We are gathering on the south side. I don't know, wherever this map tells you to go, go there. We're gathering there at 10. We'll have speakers at 10:30. At 12, we will be marching over to the swing space where we will be delivering letters to legislative offices. And our goal is just to make a lot of noise and bring a lot of awareness to our services, our population, and that they need to find someplace else to get cost savings, not the lives of people with disabilities. So we need as many people there as possible, like DSPs, participants, board members, family members, anyone and everyone that has a stake in our services. Please share this widely. And if you can bring people from your own programs or your own homes, please do. I will drop this in the chat. The other thing that is happening right now in preparation for it is a letter writing campaign. So we have a form letter that I will also drop in the chat. If anyone can fill that out, family members, participants, service providers, DSPs. And then if you are able to either bring that the day of, or better yet, email it to an email address that I'm going to put in the chat. Don't delay at futures-explore.org. We're going to print all those letters out and deliver them to the legislative offices at Tuesday's rally. So I'm going to drop all that in the chat. Let me see if I can find the letter real quickly. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I have up that's going to be weird. Okay, the letter is people can write their own letters too, but they can fill in their name here, and then it has this verbiage about what we're talking about, why they shouldn't delay this, and then they can fill in their own experiences here of their own, whatever personal experience of how this affects them personally. And then sign and email or bring it that day. And we'll also have a station at the rally for people to write a letter that day at the rally as well.
And is this, I'm sorry, and it's kind of small on my screen, but is this going to be something that would be good for everyone or primarily service providers?
Everyone. I mean, like participants, service providers, service coordinators, everybody and anybody. We want as many as we can get.
So since Lori and I will be out there, would you mind sending this over to Lori and asking her if we'd be interested in distributing this as a regional center?
Sure. Yep, we'll do.
Okay, because I think you've got a lot of support for this rally going on, and I know that you guys are playing a huge role as our service providers here locally in getting this going, and we certainly want to assist in any way we possibly can. So, we've got 460,000+ people in our system that I think we're looking at serving here in this upcoming year, and having a service system that's falling behind and being able to keep up with this demand is not going to work for us. So, all right, let's see.
I've put just because you were talking and multitasking, Miss Lindsay, I put the current flyer for the rally in, as well as some of the signs that Kate and some others have been working on. If you're looking for some inspiration, or just take it. If you want to look at what, excuse me, what we're preparing for the rally. So that's already in the chat, Lindsay.
Oh, thank you.
But I may have missed something, so if you want to add anything.
I'm just going to add the letter and the email address into the chat.
Okay.
And then for
go ahead.
real quick on logistics, there will be accessible porta potties. There will be some shade available, and there will be water available. And am I missing anything, Eric?
Yeah, no, I think that's most of it. You know, we've got some first aid, we've got some volunteers out to help make sure folks can figure out where we're going. The rally at what's the presentations end, and we have the most packed presenters agenda I've seen in a while, so we'll have a lot of fun. Then that march over to that swing space is where we're going to do for folks that can do that to deliver the letters. So that's at 12, and then after that, I think the rally kind of disperses. For the there'll be chants and science and all that fun stuff. UCP specifically offered to try to free up some vehicles if a provider or a group or anybody wanted to gather people to go, and if we could stop by your location and pick you up on the way there. We have a couple more buses that are available. We think we're trying to send some extra buses down that way. So if you're interested and you're trying to figure all this out and you're like, but wait, how do we do transportation? I need to know by the end of today, because these are buses that are taking people. If you're at UCP, if your program is UCP transportation, those are those buses that we're trying to free up in time to get to the Capitol. So we don't want to disrupt anybody's regular daily transport or their attendance at programs. So that should not affect programs, but we are on a tight time schedule. So we freed up only a few buses to go down there. So I think I have 2 or 3 buses potentially that we're looking at. So if you have, if you could get a group and you want to go, we'd be picking up around 9:30, leaving around 12:30, 12:45 to come back. I have a couple extra spots for that, if that makes a difference for you or your programs. I just need to know by the end of the day today.
Cool.
Perfect.
Jim Kaiser doesn't look nervous at all. It's great. I appreciate all that you guys are doing to get the transportation things set up and arranged. It's kind of short notice for everyone to get themselves mobilized, and you guys have done so much during this time period. So I think it's amazing. I want to see if anyone else has anything else before Tuesday, because this is the last kind of big group thing with a lot of our service providers together between now and then. All right, we've got the information in the chat. We hope that we're going to be able to see all of you out there to lend your voices to ensuring that we get some motion here on having some sustainable rates moving forward and not delaying to do this implementation. So thank you guys very much. I am now going to jump to, I guess I got to watch my time here. I'm going to jump to sick leave because I don't even know if we should talk about this, the fact that our vendors are not taking advantage of raising their own rates. And so maybe we just want to make sure we're very clear on folks that you can now, if you're a negotiated rate vendor and you've got those sick leave concerns, you can go and submit the information to be able to get your negotiated rate updated. And we're going to navigate to Alta's webpage. Everyone's seeing Alta's front page of our web. All right, sick leave. Oh, I like how service popped up. That's not what I wanted. Sick leave. Sick leave. Search. Vendor sick leave rate increase. Aptly titled. All right, so right here is our process. It explains, based off of the directive that went out from the Department of Developmental Services, which is right here linked, that you have an opportunity. My understanding is that the DDS set rate vendors have already had their rates updated based off of that information. I believe Robin LeMay already shared that with us. But for those of you that are negotiated rate vendors, you must submit the completed workbook to the rates questions, and you need to get it done no later than July 1st of 2024. I'm going to drop this in the chat, the direct link to this. So hopefully those of you that have not taken advantage of it will take advantage of it. So I'm going to drop that right there. And again, it should be relatively simple for folks to fill that out and get it updated and get yourselves an updated rate for that. Jordan, we have an email that just went out about the new re-release of our RFP.
We do. This is the last opportunity that we will have to pitch the 2 projects that we have not yet been able to award, which is the out-of-home respite service, which is targeting youth from 5 to 12. Obviously targeting all, looking specifically to provide opportunities for Russian and Spanish-speaking clients and families to have some respite outreach. Obviously, all languages would be able to be served there, but that is the target population for the startup funds for this year. So all the details are on our website. I just forgot. I'm not even sharing my screen, but I don't have the ability to right now. And the other project that we have not yet been able to the award is the outpatient substance abuse recovery services, right? So that's $50,000 to be able to bring in a currently existing outpatient provider to get them trained and extra expertise with our population. So the due date for the RFPs will be May 31st at 3 p.m. It's all on our website. I got the link for you guys right here in the chat. But really hoping that we get some applicants this time around. We're on a tight time frame. We have to get into contract before June 30th. So we're really hoping that we can award these two projects by no later than by like June 12th or June 14th so that we can get into contract before the end of the fiscal year. Thank you.
Excellent. So it's right there. Please don't hesitate to take a look at that. Again, we try to do more than just day programs and more than just care homes. When we're doing our community resource development plan, we're trying to respond to a lot of these needs that are some of the other things that are coming up in individuals' lives. And so thank you very much, Jordan, for updating us on that. And then I just want to, as we're talking about RFPs, many of you are aware that we issued a statewide FMS, Financial Management Services, request for a proposal statewide. And with that, Alta is responsible for the submissions in Northern California, Kern Regional Center is doing Central California, and East LA Regional Center is doing Southern California. And so I don't know if I feel pretty certain, Dan, that we got 25 responses to the Northern California one, correct?
Yeah, 25.
And it looked like we got 19 at Kern Regional Center for theirs. And then has East LA checked in yet, or are they still buried under their
No, I have not received any list from them yet.
Probably overwhelmed. Well, I will say this was certainly, I wouldn't say it's a much larger response than we expected, but we're very pleased with the size of the response that we have for the RFPs. And I think we're going to end up with a lot of very qualified folks that are interested in doing FMS services with the regional centers. Now that we've created this, everyone is so much aware of what our need is all throughout our state. So we will be updating folks. We intend to be able to do our awards at the beginning of June. I think by June 3rd, we are hoping to know who is going to be receiving the startup funding. And again, we're looking at administering $2 million worth of startup funds to a financial management service to support 6 Northern California regional centers and expanding implementation and opportunities for FMSs for clients at those regional centers. So that is where we're at, and we're very excited about getting all of those responses, and we'll update folks because we certainly need more FMSs to be able to do what we need to do. Just real quickly, I'm meeting with DDS next week. We have our statewide community services directors meeting. We're meeting with all the other regional centers as well. We are working really hard to try to get clarification for you on the rate study and rate study implementation and how we're going to be vendoring people in the future. There's still a lot of questions that are out there. And so we'll be reporting back to you after that meeting on kind of newest updates, hopefully from the department, before the end of this fiscal year when we get the budget and things start changing again. But good thing we have a meeting every single week where we can talk about these changes that are going on. So with that, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. 75 of you hung till 12:01. That's not bad. And have a great weekend. We'll look forward to seeing folks next week. And fantastic job again, Michael and Lisa, on your presentations. And we welcome the YMCA. Take care, folks. Have a great weekend.